Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play War of the Human Tanks. War of the Human Tanks is a strategy game injected with an anime visual novel, guys. The game was released January 2014 on Steam, but also has a release date of September 2012. My guess is the reason for this is that it was either a greenlight title, and they're counting that as the first original release, or it was an early access title that finished development, and that's why it counts towards the January release. Either way, I don't really know. I still think the January release still stands. Now, before I go ahead, I'm going to give out this disclaimer like I always do when I try to say these developers' names. I'm going to butcher your name, sir, and I apologize. But the game was developed by Yakiniku Banzai, and it was published by Fruitback Factory. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. War of the Human Tanks is available for purchase right now for $9.99 on Steam, and I highly suggest you go ahead and get this game, especially if you like strategy games and you like anime, specifically this anime style. War of the Human Tanks is by far the weirdest game I've had the pleasure of reviewing, and you will see why here in a little bit. So what is War of the Human Tanks? War of the Human Tanks puts you in the role of this kind of seemingly lazy commander who also wants to sit down and watch anime all day. But instead of controlling tanks, you control, if you can guess it, these things called human tanks. And instead of being big moving machines that shoot cannon shells and bullets, they are android-esque machines that are kind of human-esque. The highlights of this game, guys, is its strategy game. It's kind of this weird chess-style strategy game that really has this a very in-depth way. And while it looks simplistic on the surface, it's actually kind of neat once you get into it and invest some time into it. So I'm going to go ahead and load into a game here. I'm only on, I think I just finished mission 2 at this point. But I think it's a good place to show you what it is you're capable of doing in this game. Before I get into all of this, what you're looking at here, I'm going to want to show you something else though. If you go to the system configuration screen, there is a lot of, I guess you could say, they allow you to play the game whatever way you want. You can manipulate the text speed, you can manipulate if the movie's on or not, the speed of the battle, you can even skip some scenarios if you choose to. So, while there is an entire visual novel aspect to this game, it doesn't necessarily cram it down your throat. If that's not what you're into, you can skip it. If you're into the visual novel side more than just the maybe the strategy aspect in the way, you can kind of skip certain scenarios to just get to the visual novel stuff. So I kind of appreciate that feature is there, and I felt like I needed to highlight that. Alright, so here we are. We're kind of in an intermission point where we're allowed to look at our forces and play with them as we see fit. And we're actually going to be doing this thing called a free battle. And what a free battle is it's not exactly tied to the main storyline itself, which is kind of a nice feature. It allows you to kind of just relax, play the game, enjoy the game for its strategy aspect, and not have to deal with all that reading and visual novel stuff. Okay, so the game obviously lets you control tanks, and I only have 4 tanks right here to my army. And to basically get into battle here, I think you're allowed to bring a total of, well, right now 7 tanks into battle. At least that's the amount I've been allowed to bring into battles. And to do that, you kind of have to build these tanks, these human tanks to be exact. And you go over here to the assemble screen, and you can actually purchase these tanks for crates. Crates are kind of like your money, your currency in this game. They're on the bottom right here of the screen. As you can see, I have 5,300 crates. And you could build an assortment of many different tanks, which I'll go through here really quick for you. This is a command tank, and this is what I was talking about when I said the chess aspect of the game. This is when your command tank gets destroyed, no matter how many tanks you have on the field, it's game over. But at the exact same time, if you have one tank and you take out the enemy commander's command tank, no matter how many tanks he has, game over. And it's probably the most important tank to have on the field. They are usually very versatile in what they can do. They can do a little bit of everything, but most of the time you're going to want to keep them as far away from the action as possible, unless it's one of those do or die moments. Next up, we have the long-range gunning tank, I guess you could say, the support cannon. And these guys by far have the longest range in combat. And the reason that these guys are so useful is they're kind of useful in combination with the recon unit. And what they do is they the game has kind of a fog of war in this hexagonal style map here that I'll show you in a bit. And you can actually shoot from long distance before the enemy even gets near you and obliterate them before they even touch you. The Asahi is more of your kind of your assault tank. These are the guys that are going to rush forward, and most of the time who you will lose the most of out of all these tanks here. They rush forward, have kind of a decent range, decent movement rate, and can annihilate the enemy, but most of the time you're going to lose them a lot. This by far is the weirdest tank out of all of them. I don't really understand the entire point of them. I haven't figured out the strategy to using them, as it were, but basically these are kind of like shock tanks. They run into the enemy. They can, of course, attack enemies, but once they die, they self-destruct, wiping out anything that's nearby. So it kind of has that element of strategy to that. If you can use these tanks effectively, they're very useful. They also have the scout tank. These guys are your recon units, and they reveal the fog of war with their recon ability, which we'll show here off in a bit. So I have to, of course, go into the free battle itself. I'm going to go ahead and say start the free battle. And this brings me to the, I guess you could say, deployment screen, the battle preparation screen, and I have to deploy some troops. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy my command tank, and this brings you to a screen which actually shows you the map itself. And not all the maps are all the same, they're all different. All of them have even different objectives depending on the mission. But for the most part, you're always going to want to place your command tanks near the back here, like so. I'm going to go ahead and place my long-range tanks here, and here. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my assault tank right there. But we only have 4, so we need actually 7 in total. So we need to make some more tanks. I need a recon tank for sure. So that brings me up to what, 5? I need 2 more, right? Yeah. And I'm not a huge fan of the Pochi, the self-destruct tank. I don't really know how to use them. Even though they're cheaper to use, I still prefer the straight-up assault tanks. And I will just go ahead and deploy those. These are all deployed, correct? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to place that one there. I'm actually going to go ahead and place my scout in the middle of these two. And then place my last assault tank behind her. Now, of course, I don't want to keep my units formed up like that for very long, but we'll be moving quickly across the battlefield. And that's another thing. The way the battle system works is very unique. And I will get to that here in a bit. Let's just go ahead and show you the battle system. And like I said, it has this kind of hexagonal style of thing. This is, of course, the fog of war that you cannot see through. And the only way to get to access to see through that is either through recon or actually moving physically through it. And the game actually has kind of like a live action thing. You're actually not allowed to move till you build up a certain amount of, I guess you could say, movement points, as you were. The game kind of sends out commands and you order your troops to move, and then you have to wait a while till you can send another relay of information, which is what that is there. That's connecting basically to your units to let you know where to move and how to go about the field. And it just adds that aspect to things that you could be sitting there unfortunately helpless and not be able to really do much. Now, I found one of the enemy units. I'm not going to actually go ahead and attack that one because I'm actually going to go ahead and recon more out of the field here. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good though. Let's go ahead and move from here. She should be able to... Whoa, hello. Now, they've definitely spotted us, obviously. I didn't expect them to appear so close to us, for that matter as well. That's kind of crazy. As you can see, the game kind of works in this strange tactical way of revealing territory and then not trying to hit the enemy before they hit you. The enemy could see you before you even see them. I don't think I'm gonna be able to save my poor recon unit there. It's probably gonna get destroyed. Yeah, my recon unit's totally gone. Aww. Poor human tank is dead now. And unfortunately, that also kind of prevents me from seeing where the enemy is, but I can kind of take a quick gander as to where that enemy was. I'm pretty sure there was one right here, right? Was I right? Oh, yes, I was. And that was the, it looks like that was the command tank, so I actually won the battle pretty quickly there. It brings you to this after screen, which kind of shows you how well you did and what you're going to get from this battle in all. Well, that wasn't not a fantastic battle, and I would have definitely enjoyed more annihilating more of the enemy. I did win, so that's all that really matters, and I got a decent amount of salvage. So then you kind of got an idea of how the battle system works. It's all very tactical. And another thing that adds an entire layer of this game is development. You can actually develop more hardier tanks, and that gives them more and more abilities to do. For instance, I can develop a new long-range gunning tank that improves its shooting range, which is much more helpful. I can make a new command tank, which is a faster transmission and is a little bit more better all in all. I can make a new assault tank, and you get the idea. You can make more and more new tanks, and there may be even different kinds of tanks that are just different from just these base 5. And once you build those, you can actually bring those into the field. Unfortunately, though, they're going to cost you more to develop at first, but they're cheaper to assemble than they are to develop. Also, you can develop these things called module, and this kind of adds a little bit more customization to your, I guess you could say, your troops. The modules you can actually attach to your tanks and will obviously alter the characteristics of that tank you attach it to. For instance, Cola here increases the speed and movement by 1 when equipped. Now, obviously, they are quite expensive, though. I mean, you got 10,000, 40,000, 60,000. But again, once you develop them, they're easier to assemble than they are to develop. But you get the idea. It kind of adds that entire other aspect to customization to your strategy. You can develop many different kinds of strategy from the modules and the different types of tanks you can use. And you can imagine the game gets more and more tanks. It gives you more and more modules as you get deeper into the game. So that just adds more and more elements to the game that makes it more complicated. And you can actually have a very diverse army as you move deeper into the game. So yeah, aside from developing tanks and modules, you can assemble, you can discard them. There's free battles, which of course is really sweet if you just want to get into the action of the game. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into the visual novel-esque side of things. And the game is kind of episodic the way it works out. So when you finish an episode, it actually kind of runs you through the movie that you saw from the trailer on the Steam page itself. And you can go ahead and just click right through that. You don't have to watch it, but it's there. It kind of treats it episodically, which is kind of cute. It's kind of anime. So this one's called Attack the Armored Train. And the game's style and its sound is all very well done. It lends itself to, obviously, the style of the game. That said, it's not everyone's cup of tea. If you don't like chibi anime, you might not be into this. Anyways, we're gonna go. This is the visual novel side of things. The recapture of the Okinawa Battery and the triumph of the Imperial Capital conquering regiment. I'm gonna butcher a lot of these names. I'm gonna let you know. The Yoshimigaru. Those golden achievements have distinguished Shutaro's corpse. The Imperial 4th Armored Corps, a miraculous human tank unit under direct control of the HQ. Nearly a month has now passed since those success of his. Second Lieutenant Chaco, are you around? And as you can see, this is what I was talking about, the visual novel-esque side of things. Oh, it's Sato. What's up? Is lunch ready? No, it isn't lunchtime yet. My stomach says it is. This place down in the basement, this is our tank hangar, right? It is. Have you ever been down here before? Twice now, right before we deployed to you that word. And back when I walked around to get a feel for the best layout. There's nothing but human tanks here, but I hope you'll enjoy your stay. Second Lieutenant, what should I do with these supplies, ma'am? Yes? Ma'am, I apologize. I meant Second Lieutenant Chaco. Righty, Sat2 is also a Second Lieutenant. Well, move to those to Machine 3, will you? Roger that. You can just say so if you're busy. I'm taking my leave. Before that, can I ask you what you brought down here? Checking the hangar was one of my purposes, and the other is, have you seen the Lieutenant? Big bro, since the last night, he has been... I'm back. This is our character. He's kind of blacked out. We never really see his face. I have no idea why. He just doesn't... He's kind of, nameless figure. I guess he's supposed to be you, obviously. I have returned. This is the command tank. This is a human tank character. Oh, speak of the devil. Welcome back, big bro. As you can see, guys, it's the cute anime-esque style of things. The backgrounds are kind of actual real locations. Sometimes they're drawn, sometimes they're real. And it's just, this has this entire aspect and a kind of a cute story to it all. It's not anything too heavy. It's not meant to... I guess it's not... I'm not going to say it's not serious, because I don't want to discredit the game. I don't want you to think that the game doesn't take itself seriously. What I'm trying to say is the game tries to be fun and cute and entertaining more than rock your moral center. Christ, it really was tiring. Welcome back, Lieutenant. It was hell back there, sir. Lieutenant, you look very tired. I really am, Sato, I really am. Have you been doing some kind of training with her? I can't move anymore, sir. Human tanks are designed to be far superior to us humans in physical performance. What kind of training would make her this tired? Oh, big bro, you got the first press edition bonus item. ... Holy smokes, you even got Trap-On Quest. Getting 2 games in one go? That's amazing, big bro. ... Captain was most amazing, ma'am. I joined the same games line thrice to get different bonus items, but he went to all hell for 4 items. Could you guys shut up for a moment? You've been in a game shop buying games ever since yesterday night? Ugh. You took Q and Tank there, ignoring the fact that it is army property? Well, you know, having more people makes it easier to buy a lot of... As you can see, it has that anime-esque humor to it all. I'm so sorry. You're not forgiven. Oh, sounds like we got a visitor. Coming. Woo, is it? It's a human tank. I have a message for Lieutenant Dahainu, ma'am. Maybe it's from the HQ. You must be tired. Come on in. Big bro, you got a message. Wait, what are you doing? He's being hung from the ceiling. I'm trying to make him understand the appropriateness of his actions with his body since his brain is beyond salvation. And you can tell it has this humor-esque thing. It's kind of funny sometimes. Whoa, he's been bound by his ankles. I've never witnessed such a beautiful way to hang someone before. And I've never heard a staff officer would hang their boss like this. So our hell tank has come. Is that a commission from the headquarters? You're completely ignoring me. Well, it's directed to the lieutenant. Might I read it to all of you? Go ahead. Sure, just read aloud. This is written in order to the Imperial 4th Armored Corps conquer the Castle Musoto connecting line. The Castle Musoto connecting line? The Royal Regiment is currently stationed in the castle. I take it we were supposed to break their supply route. They're shipping goods to the castle by rail. The target is the freight train. I see, so the plan is for us to disrupt those supplies so that the regiment grows impatient enough to leave the castle they're holed up in. Big bro, you don't sound very authoritative when you hang upside down. We've acknowledged the operation. We're sorting immediately. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Excuse me? Damn it! Everybody get down! So yeah, guys, you get the idea as far as the visual novel-esque things of the game goes. It's there. If you enjoy that type of thing, I kindly suggest you to read it, take advantage of it. You can also skip it, as you can see. If you can just click really fast, you can go blow right through it and head straight into the next mission. They're talking about how they have to take down this freight train, which is a really neat mission in all actuality. All the maps are different, has different objective. This one isn't necessarily about taking down the enemy commander. It's about stopping the train. And it's kind of giving you the kind of a tutorial. It says learn the abilities of enemy units. The enemy is fighting under the same conditions as the Shatura. Once you've discovered an enemy tank, click on it and check out its sight range. You can figure out whether it's already discovered any of your tanks. And that brings you back to the screen where you can deploy your troops, do more research, get your formation down, assemble more tanks, and you head into the mission, guys. So there you have it. There is War of the Human Tanks, and War of the Human Tanks has quite a bit of depth to it. If you're willing to invest into it, the story is cute and graphics match the setting of the game rather well. If you're a fan of strategy games and love those cute chibi animes and that kind of wacky humor, War of the Human Tanks is everything you want and more. With many interesting missions, lots of replay value here, and the ability to skip dialogue if you so choose. It lets you play the game the way you want to enjoy it, whatever way you want, and have fun. So go ahead and pick this game up on Steam if you liked what you saw. I think it's a great game. It's the visual novel side, maybe it's not for everybody. The art style, maybe not for everybody. The game does have a really deep strategy aspect here that I think a lot of strategy fans will enjoy. It's fast, it's really fast-paced, it's fun, it's frantic. So, I think the game deserves your attention, especially if you're a fan of strategy games. I hope you enjoyed this review. Big thanks to the developer. Remember to subscribe, like, and share for more future IndieView reviews. And this has been Let's Play War of the Human Tanks.